Dear students, we have been discussing the chapter The Shipwrecked Sailor, Lesson 11. We have found out how Robinson Crusoe, after being shipwrecked, found himself on a dismal island. And we also get a description of how he makes the island habitable with his hard work. He at first built a dwelling place for himself. He then fortified it. He arranged for food and other provisions, and ultimately he began to keep the track of time by cutting a notch with his knife on a large post. We had discussed up to that point, so open your books at page 85. After a long spell of rain, I saw some fair weather around 7th November. Fair weather means good weather. For several days it had been raining, and after that the rain stopped and the weather became good. It became good weather, a pleasant weather on 7th November. I spent the next couple of days making small wood boxes to keep my provisions dry from the rain. Couple of days means 2 days. He spent the next 2 days making small wood boxes, that means boxes made of wood, kathir baksho. Why did he make wood boxes? He made wood boxes to keep his things inside it so that it would not get wet from the rain, so that these things are kept dry. Among the things I rescued from the ship, there was a small bag of corns meant for poultry feed. Poultry, that means hens and ducks. So there was food for hens and ducks. So Crusoe had collected it from the ship. What was the food given to hens and ducks? It was a bag of corn, crop, shosho. Most of it had been devoured by rats. Devour means to eat up. Most of the corn had been eaten up by rats. I saw nothing but husks and dusks in the bag. Husk means the covering of a crop. Shosher khosha, that is husk. So inside the bag there was no corn. There was only dust and husk. I emptied the contents outside my wall. This was a little time before the great rains. He emptied the contents. To empty means to take out everything from inside. All the dust, all the husks were taken out, and it was poured onto the soil. Matite ঢেলে দিলেন. This was a little time before the great rains. Crusoe did it before the rainfall had started. A month later, I discovered green stalks shooting out of the ground. What is stalk? Stalk means a stem with leaves and branches. He found that green stalks, that means green stems, সবুজ কাণ্ড, with leaves and branches, পাতা এবং শাখা সহ, shooting out of the ground, that means coming out of the ground. I was astonished to discover it was perfect green barley. So actually, Crusoe had planted barley seeds, and barley plants came out. By the June of 1660, I had gained security of food and shelter. Now he had security. Security means safety. To gain means to get. Now Crusoe had got the safety of food and shelter. He had enough food, he had a good shelter, and it was by the June of 1660. If you remember the date when he came on the dismal island, it was September 30, 1659. So within October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, within a span of 8 to 9 months, Crusoe had gained the security of food and shelter. In this same month, I developed a high fever and lay weak and thirsty. Now, Crusoe also suffered from a disease. He developed a high fever, and naturally, as a result of that fever, he became very feeble, weak, durbal, and thirsty. I recovered around 30th and gradually felt stronger than the day before. But Crusoe had a good constitution. তার স্বাস্থ্য ভালো ছিল. He had a good health. So he came round very soon. To come round means to recover. He recovered very soon. On 15th of July, I took a more particular survey of the island. Around 2 miles up, I found a brook with pleasant meadow by its bank, plain, smooth, and covered by grass. On 15th July, Crusoe took a survey of the island. To survey means to explore. ভালোভাবে সবকিছু দেখা. He visited different parts of the island. He went for 2 miles, and what did he find? He found a brook. A brook means a small river. There were pleasant meadows by its bank. Meadow means a green field. সবুজ জমি. On the bank of the river, নদীর তীরে, there was pleasant meadows, smooth and covered with grass. It was smooth, that means it was not rough, and the meadow was covered with grass. In a woody part, I found melons in great abundance and grape trees. Woody part means a part where there is a small wood, that means a small forest. In the forest, he found many fruits. He found melons, and he also found grape trees, আঙুর গাছ. The grapes were ripe and rich. Here rich means the grapes were very luscious and they were very tasty. They were ripe and rich. Further into the land, they were juicy also. Further into the land, I found a great number of cocoa, orange, and lemon trees. He found many other trees there. I carried great parcels of fruit homeward, and the journey took me 3 days. Now, when Crusoe found so many fruit trees, he collected fruits from those trees. And after collecting the fruit, Crusoe moved homeward. That means he moved towards his shelter. And it took him 3 days to reach his home. That means he had gone far away from his shelter, and it took him 3 days to return. So, what do we find? That Crusoe was gradually making the island more habitable. তিনি এটাকে আরো বাসযোগ্য করে তুলছিলেন. When Crusoe first landed on the island, it was a desolate island. There was nobody on the island, and there was no food, no shelter. But Crusoe was a man of iron determination. He did not give up. He did not succumb to the circumstances. Rather, he fought against the odds. তিনি বাধা বিপত্তির বিরুদ্ধে লড়াই করলেন, and gradually he made the island habitable, and he also got security of food and shelter. So read up to this point. I will send you questions, answers. So this class comes to an end. Thank you.